I'm Don.
And hi, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Pearls of Liberty, August 3rd, 2013. And today we really only have one focus. We want to talk a little bit about currency. There are a lot of rumors about a world currency reset that will change the values of various currencies and, and just add justice to that system.
Yeah, this is it. This is a big, big deal, and to say it's just one article as it is to cast it in not quite the right light. This is one idea, and I want to relate it to some other ideas, as Cindy said, that have to do with the global currency reset. And I mentioned discovering this guy, Mitchell's Anthony Migchell's, a couple of weeks ago. And I love how he thinks. There's one thing about this blog that I'm not super pleased about, and that he kind of gets down on Alex Jones, but let me explain that a little bit, where he's coming from. He's coming from, even though apparently he lives in the Netherlands, coming from the position of traditional American populism or liberalism, which has always been for an abundant money supply. If you go back and you read what Benjamin Franklin said about what the real cause of the Revolutionary War was, you'll see that he said the British took away the right to coin our own money. On colonial script, on another occasion, he was quoted as saying, is the source of the colonialist prosperity. And what they did, the colonists did, especially in Pennsylvania where he was from, they tied the value of the colonial script, their currency, to the value of land as the farmers developed it. So they tied it to the land, and it was abundant enough to facilitate commerce. And that is what Anthony in this blog is talking about when he is glad that the Austrians are on the way out. He talks about the demise of some well-known Austrian blogs like Mises.org and LewRockwell.com, and how they are dropping off in terms of their readership, as shown on the LexisNexis graphs. So what he points out, and what I've known for a long time, and people like Keith Gardner, who writes a wonderful blog called libertyrevival.com, have talked about for a long time, is that the Austrian School of Economics has actually been set up by the globalists to bring us into a new dark age, to try to get such a pendulum swing away from fiat currency that we'll accept a very deflationary and restrictive gold standard. And that would really be bad for the people, because it would absolutely dry up liquidity. Money would be very scarce. Gold would go through the roof, etc., etc. When, in fact, the gold has very limited uses nowadays, so it doesn't really have the, quote, inherent monetary value that the Austrians think it has. So what is happening here is people are waking up, and it's happening at all levels. We've got these people that are working on the Basel III standard across the world, and I'm thinking about people, not although she hasn't worked on it, but has been a whistleblower inside the IMF or World Bank, I forget which, Karen Hughes, and she has openly advocated a mixture of commodities and other measures for the standard that we're going on to as the new global monetary system, and that's very, very good. It's not the restrictive global standard. It will enable a stable value of currencies that are actually tied to things of real value. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got stability, you've got reality, and you've got the bankers being forced to turn over their monopoly game on currencies to the people worldwide. So this is a very, very good thing, and Anthony does a great job of highlighting the populist opinion standpoint of this. Doesn't really tie it into the Basel III or anything else like that, but that's what I see as the big picture that's very, very exciting and could even herald us coming into a new golden age.
That's great. As I read, it was described the kind of stability that world currencies would have is that if a country were to have something like a volcano go off, that might lower the value of their currency, or if they were to discover a new diamond mine, that might raise the value of their currency, but that without some real change in value within the country, that their currency would not revalue dramatically, and which that will create a very stable environment.
Yeah, one of the things that Anthony makes very clear in all of his writings, it's one of the key principles that I like to continually emphasize, is decentralization equals stability or undergirds stability. So hierarchies make things unstable, monopolies make things unstable, and decentralization or breaking up of monopolies and real competition actually makes things very stable. And he's got that one down pat, and that is a key thing that is happening here as we get the gold standard not eliminated, and we're not doing fiat paper money, but what we're doing with this new standard is a mix of things of real value, and one ingredient is gold.
Well, that sounds good, and the Bible says that God puts treasure in earthen vessels, and we all have treasure within ourselves. And one of the ideas that's factored in to the value of a currency is the country's people, intellectual property, and things of that nature. So, hoping that you will bring out the treasure that is within you.
Yeah, just to add to that, it's obviously not just the natural resources of the land that the country sits on, but the ability of the people to use them wisely, and that's a key ingredient, and it really is factored into all this. And I do want to briefly get back to what I said earlier about Alex Jones and Austrianism. I think Alex is 100% real. I think he genuinely believes that we have been headed for a big economic collapse, and that gold would be a hedge against that, and that's the reason behind his promoting gold. I don't think for a minute that he's actually a part of some dark plot to bring that about. I think maybe he's being used, but I think his heart is good, and I think that Alex his heart is on the side of American populism, and he just needs some education. He's had Bill Still on the show that Anthony mentions here as one of the contributors to all of this global revival of real economics. And there's one of the great things about this blog is that all these different schools are mentioned, and he brings it out. And it's not, Austrianism is monolithic, but these various monetary new school stuff, it's not monolithic. There are these different viewpoints. Bill Still's one of them, and Bill's been on Alex's show. So I believe that this is a time that we can really learn what it takes to build a new world, and that we will have not a new dark age, but a new golden age if we handle this transition period wisely. So I'll leave you with that positive thought.
And we thank you for joining us for this week's Pearls of Liberty, and hope you have a great week coming up.
And as always, I want to remind you to see the world the way that it really is. See yourself in it. Walk your walk. You are the one you've been waiting for.